Welcome back to the Wondered Bliss Podcast. My name is Kevin Faulkner. I am your host. I'm an artist, poet, and recovering fool who has made all kinds of mistakes in my life. And I'm trying to turn around, trying to do better, trying to have a positive influence in the world to the best degree that I can. And through that, the way that I kind of think that I can is kind of discussing the things that were the problems that I had, the things that were blocking me mentally and causing me to struggle to find happiness and peace in life. And I know a lot of other people are doing the same thing, going through the same battles that I did. And I have dreams for this podcast to grow, to turn into an interview show, and really explore purpose and everything. But for now, limitations, I'm here and using it as an opportunity to kind of self-promote a little bit and put the message that I want out first and kind of establish myself. But I'm going through, I have recently released a poetry and art book called What Struggle Brings. And it's a book of all my art, my poetry, prose, many different things that bothered me for a long time. I started to write, started to get it out, and I started to see it all kind of come together, and I put it all together into a book. It's all done by me, written, illustrated, everything, all done by me. It's filled with all kinds of art and design and everything. I try my best to make it super cool. So if you would like, I'd really appreciate it. You can go and get it. It's available on Amazon. It's also available now, many different places. I think Barnes & Noble, you can get it, and at least online. So if you just Google it, What Struggle Brings Kevin Faulkner, it'll pop up many different options for you. And you can get it, we can follow along. I'm going through right now and just reading it poem by poem and discussing all the things that may need to be talked about. But this here, I think it's episode 7. So it's the 7th poem in the book. I'll go ahead and get to reading it and talk about whatever may need to be said. But this one here is one of my favorites, to be honest with you. But it's a sad one. We're in the dark section of the book. So all of these early ones, they'll be quite sad, but there's a lot of value to be taken from some of those moments. But this one here, we'll get to it. It's called Lost Out in the Open. You know, it's funny how my house is not my home. It may be where I live, but it's far from where I've grown. And every day, where I'm from is more unknown. It's left me guessing where I'm going. It's got me stressing every moment. It's made me realize that I'm broken. I think it's the reason that I can't stop smoking. I can't stop drinking. I can't stop floating with no direction, like I'm lost out in the open, with no sign that the earth is slowing. While I'm sitting still, relaxed and open to free thought, because damn, this bud is potent. I need to quit. But who am I kidding? What am I joking? This drug-induced sense of self is far from being over. Years of me have led to this. I should pray for a couple more. But if God is real, he'd leave me here, because he'd know that I can soar higher than my doubt permits, and what I've seen before, there's good in me, I swear there is. It's bleeding from my core. I just need a way to focus it, and that's what my art's been for. I've been told that it's my gift, but really it's something more. It's a love. It's a light. It's an outlet from inside. It's something that lets me breathe. That something has kept me alive. And it gives me hope for a better me. Just click reload. But the world, it loves to change. Things evolve and switch their roles. Time has passed. I've gotten older, but I'm hanging by the ropes. I'm trying to support myself, but it's hard. I'm a young adult who's still in school, still playing by the rules, still trying to be myself. But who am I? I'm just a fool who is probably going nowhere, because I'm stuck and still impaired, because life, it isn't easy, and nobody said it's fair, but it's kind of getting to me. My heart's stripped and it's bare. But really, there's no point to this, because nobody really cares. So that one, it's a longer poem. There's a lot that is being said in here. So there's a lot to kind of go over. I'll try to keep it relatively concise. But really what it talks about is just a general feeling of hopelessness that I had. A general feeling of confusion by life, by my circumstance, by who and what I am, and what I'm supposed to do. So much had changed in my life, and I'll only talk about me because maybe there's something that you can learn and maybe use for your situation, because yours is different. But we're all quite similar. We're far more similar than we are different from each other. That's the truth. But all the individual moments and things that lead us to where we are, they are different. They're purely yours and uniquely yours, with your unique set of people and circumstance. But the overall feelings and emotions are quite the same. And that's where the value is of speaking and having these conversations, because there's a lot of things in life that are quite uncomfortable. A lot of things. And for me, kind of going through it, one of them for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people have gone through this, I moved a lot when I was young. A lot. I think I moved about 11 times in my life, and I'm sure there will be many more to come. I still have a lot of time, hopefully. But that feeling, I say in the first few lines, it's funny how my house is not my home. It may be where I live, but it's far from where I've grown. And that idea, it's this idea, like, what is home to you? It's the place where you find peace and you have fond memories and all these things. And if you've been thrust into a new phase of life with new people you don't really know, it's been changing and changing and changing, it leaves you kind of flustered. You don't know who you are. You don't know really much of anything. And that feeling fades. It definitely does. But you have to go through it, and you have to learn the new you in this new place with these new people, because who you are is largely dictated in many ways by the life that you live and the people that surround you. That's the truth. But for me, because I'd moved and lost so many friends, I kept people at arm's length to the best of my ability, because I knew I would likely be moving again, and I would likely lose these people too. So if I don't get close to you, then it won't hurt as bad. But that left me in a pretty desperate place, because you need people, you need friends, you need loved ones, people to lean on you. We're community creatures. We need that. And for me, I was running from it. So I started smoking, I started drinking, I started running around, trying to find out who I am without allowing myself to live a full life, filled with the love and camaraderie of friendship and deep relationships. And I was trying to escape. This among many things. I'd also fallen away from religion. I was raised very religious, and I fell away and turned extraordinarily atheist. So I had just zero sense of purpose in my life. And I was trying to escape. So I talk in here how I was smoking a shit ton of weed, really. And I'd kind of found a sense of identity in that life. I think a lot of people do. I think that's one of the big reasons why there is the high rate of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, all of the above. It's a search for identity. And you can kind of, I'm a smoker. You can find friends in that way. You have a shared event and activity that you can participate with others. So you kind of find your identity, but that type of thing is quite destructive. It is. It doesn't really lead you anywhere good, at least very rarely. And for me, I was kind of sitting there in this sense. I say this drug-induced sense of self is far from being over because I had no way out. I had nothing else to cling to because I had let every other piece of me fall apart and I had no direction. That's a terrible place to be. It's a hopeless place to be. And in my heart and soul, I knew there was so much more that I just wasn't tapping into. I didn't know how to do it. But I say in these next lines, like, if God is real, he'd lead me here because he'd know that I can soar. He can see my potential. He can see all the things that I'm not letting myself acknowledge about myself. That's a huge part. We often are the ones who hold ourselves back the most because we doubt, we question, we're uncomfortable with our potential. I forget the exact quote, but it's, we don't fear inadequacy, we fear how powerful we are. The exact quote's a little more elegant, but it really is kind of true. You hold yourself back because of your doubts. And it's sad because it's living in that fullness that will bring you the happiness that you crave. But if you're holding yourself back because of fear, because of anger, because of whatever emotion you may be dealing with, you're the one who's causing yourself the most pain. It's not even your life or the circumstances that led you to that place. If you're there holding yourself back from being your truest self, from being the loving version of yourself, it's you holding you back. And I started to lean into it. I still have quite a ways to go myself, of course, but I started to lean into it. I was doing my art. I was once again kind of trying to escape, and it was another escape for me. Drawing and writing and all these things. It was a place for my mind to go that wasn't my resentful thoughts. And in many ways, like that was the thing that kept me going. Leaning into the things that my soul desired. Art and writing and expressing these things and moving past it. That's really what I wanted. That's what my heart was trying to do. But I only would do it in certain circumstance, instead of allowing myself to be that same person in every aspect of my life. And I was just kind of caught in this in-between space, not knowing who and what I am. So many people will find themselves there. So many. Because it's tough. It's scary, especially moving into the unknown. If you've found yourself in this space for years, you found some odd sense of identity in your struggles, in your addictions, in your escapism. To move past that and live in the fullness of your identity is a terrifying act because it begs the question, am I good enough? Am I going to fail? And the last thing anyone wants to do is fail. Even though oftentimes that's the thing that will teach us the most and in the end lead us to the most success. I hear it from all of the big financial gurus, all of the big top dogs in every industry. It's like they failed time and time and time again. The most successful business people, entrepreneurs, they launched like 20 businesses before they finally had that one that stuck. You can't be afraid of the failure. It's the failure that molds you. And this is really in every aspect of your life. Learning how to love. You're probably going to fail. Learning how to be open. You're probably going to fail. You're probably going to be pretty closed off for a while. But you keep going. You keep trying. And you'll get there. You'll get there. I'm still working on it. This is part of the process here. Me learning how to talk about it. Learning how to be unabashedly open on the internet. But, sorry. I think it's important. Because why the fuck would you hold yourself back? We live for a very short time. Why hold yourself back from anything? Especially the good things. Especially that sense of freedom that comes with being unadulteratedly yourself, if that's the word. You have to. And it is tough. I mean, I keep going in this poem. The last line's a hitter. I'm talking about all this. I'm in this place. My heart's stripped and it's bare. I'm lost, confused, heartbroken by all of these things. And I genuinely felt this way at the time, that really there's no point to this, because nobody really cares. I'd been shown time and time again by many people that it didn't matter that much. My problems weren't their problems, and they were worried about their problems. And frankly, vice versa. As I've really thought about it, how often did I genuinely care about the ins and outs of that person's life when I was too caught up in my own? And then I'm going to be upset that they're not worrying about mine. It's kind of silly. But we'll all do this. We're all somewhat self-centered, and you kind of have to be, because no one else is going to care about you as much as you do. It's the truth. But you have to care about yourself. You have to go and live your life. You have to be willing to be open and honest and vulnerable. Otherwise, you'll live as a shell of who you really are. And that's no way to live. That's no way to live. I've been there. I've been wildly depressed. I've been lost, dazed, and confused, not letting myself admit who and what I am. Trying to discover in college what to do. Who am I? I mean, I have to pick a career, pick a major, head in this direction. It's daunting and it's scary. But the more open and honest you are with yourself, the quicker you'll figure it out. And that's the biggest thing. You want to figure it out. But you will. You will. Just got to have a little bit of faith, huh? We'll talk about religion and God and things much more later. I have many opinions on that matter, but that idea of faith used to bother me a lot. Because a lot of people believe in dogma without evidence. And that, I think, is ridiculous. But this idea of believing in yourself and believing in your potential, believing in life and how life works for us, believing that there is God, or whatever God is, the thing that is love, the thing that is the energy, the power, everything that this universe is, that it loves you and wants good for you. Believing in that is a whole other question. And that, I've opened up to it, and I think it's true. And you should have faith in that. This life is not just for us, but it is for us. And it wants us to be the best version of ourselves. But we have to step into that. It won't make us be that, but it wants us to be that. And as you're moving in that direction, it will help you, because it wants it for you. So I don't know. There may have been something in here that may help you wherever you may be. That's really what this is. I'm telling my story, not to make it about me, but to hopefully say something that might help you in yours. That's my motivation here. So, said in the last episode, if you need specifics or something, right now the channel's pretty small, put something in the comments. Reach out to me in some way. And maybe I might have some advice or a little touch of something that might help you. But I'll keep tuning in. I'll keep going through the book as we head through. There's many different hardships and mental struggles and everything that I went through that we'll talk about. And I just hope that it does some good for you. But I spent a lot of time putting this thing together. There's a lot of ins and outs all throughout it. Many different perspectives and insights. So if you are going through some shit, if it sounds anything like anything I've described here, maybe this book might help. So go pick yourself up a copy. I would greatly appreciate it. It would help me keep going in this direction, keep doing the things that I'm trying to do. But it might do something for you too. I don't know. Go pick it up. What Struggle Brings, Kevin Faulkner. Available many places these days. Hopefully many more in the future, eh? But like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things that you can. I'll put links to my website. I'll put links to the book. And tune back next time. I'll try to keep posting. I'm going to try to, I think, move it up to like 2 episodes a week. Try to get better at this because I'm still learning how to do this. To talk into a camera and stare at this eye that's not blinking back at me. It's awkward. It's awkward to try to open up and be vulnerable in a way. Speaking to myself in a room, A lot of things I got to learn. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm going to keep trying to get better. And keep trying to get better at being a resource for people to the best way that I can. Because that's what I feel prompted to try to do. I've seen the darkness. And I've seen the light. And if I could help you see the light too, it's the greatest gift that I could receive. That's genuine truth. But yeah, do the things. Tune back in next time. But I'll call it here for now. Much love, everybody. Peace.